Good afternoon. Welcome to the tea table. I am so happy you have joined me today. Oh my goodness. I found this CD of my daughter's. She's 18 when she made this. She's playing Fritz Kreisler's original composition, Preludium Allegro, which I just love. At the time she did this, my son Sam was in the military in Iraq, in a very dangerous situation. And I sent him this CD. He had taken his violin with him to Iraq. And he called back. He goes, "Mom, Bowie," we call our youngest child Bowie, Elizabeth. He said, "She doesn't wait for anyone to give her permission. She's playing with her whole heart." It just really is a blessing to hear this music. When one is in the middle of recording, you never personally feel it's good enough. It's like photographs. You don't like them until 2 or 3 years later. And it's the same with recording, probably with everything creative. Artists are very hard on themselves, aren't they? I love this. She created this as a senior in high school, and it was called Elizabeth Goes to College, and it was a CD. So, if you haven't gotten your tea yet, please get your tea, and I'll be waiting for you. We're just gonna relax today. Easter is over. Oh my, after the last tea talk, those few days before Easter, I know I maxed out every bit of energy I had preparing for everyone coming and getting last minute mailing done. I've got grandkids all over America. This is so beautiful right here. You know, beautiful Helen, her teacher, the great Helen de Pagels. Bowie was one of her last pupils. Helen actually turned 90 4 years after this was made, and moved back to Vienna. And Elizabeth was one of her very last high-level pupils. My older children had also had Helen, but they didn't start as young. Bowie started when she was, I think, 5 or 6. She had had another teacher when she was 3 or 4. And so Helen was this teacher that she was willing to give everything. If it was allowed, she'd do 3 and 4 hour lessons. And she was the great Helen that my older children were, oh my. Helen was Berlin, German, Hoch, Schuyler trained and demanded the best. Well, Bowie had been around and had attended so many lessons, and finally, when she had Helen, I remember a few times after 3 hours, Bowie said, "That's all, Helen. Lesson is done." It's like, oh, wow. You mean you can do that? Oh, wow. You that are musicians and have had teachers, understand. I love this piece. I forgot about this. Preludium Allegro. to play at this level, you have to have so many people behind you, taking you to lessons, giving you lessons, the accompanist, and the student being willing to put in the time. It's definitely like all great things in life. It doesn't come without many, many, many supporters behind you. Oh, wow. I'm so grateful for all the people in my life who supported me and believed in me and encouraged me. And when I was young, in my era, there were people that were not always encouraging, and you had to keep going even though they may not have been so positive toward your achievements. Now people seem to be over the top positive, which is so good. We help each other. And I have to tell you, my dear, dear friend Ruth today, who I've known since college days, we called her Red Ruth. She was a true artist and intellectual. And she was top student and a real leader. And she is a great editor. And she started a Christian newspaper in the 70s called Agape, for some of you who would remember, in Seattle. And then in the 90s, another one called Second Wind, and it went all over the world to 22 countries. Well, Ruth traveled with her husband. They lived in China. They lived in India. He's an engineer. And Ruth was able to go along and teach English as a second language and get to know many of the believers in these countries and encourage them. Well, Ruth is inspired in the last few years to do another newspaper. Now, this is big because newspapers are almost all closing. Everything is online. News is instant. But she said, I feel like we need a Christian newspaper. There are none around. And so, with a vision, everything begins with a dream, right? I said, go for it, Ruth. Do it. You have the gift and the talent. Be brave. So she and her husband, Larry, have been working very hard on an incredible newspaper, hard copy, and it came out today. And I went up to DuPont and met her, and I helped her address some envelopes. I felt very privileged. And I have the first copy here to show you. And I'm going to have to move my little tea table for a minute. But if any of you want a copy, let me know. They're going to go around, and they are for the purpose of encouragement, just like the Tea Talk, to give good news and report the good things that are happening across the world and from the Pacific Northwest. Yes, I'm going to just, excuse me here for a minute. I left this paper just over the way. I'm going to just grab it. It's just us on the Tea Talk, right? We are all family. And you don't mind that I had to move a little bit. This camera is so little that you just barely fit in. This is her paper, and it's called Stand. And it's taken from the Bible, where it says, take on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand. Isn't that beautiful? Stand. And it's got color pictures. And there's beautiful articles. She did such a good job with some of the pictures in here with the articles. And it's a nice size because it's not an oversized. You can hold it and read it, but it's 12 pages of incredible content. So I just want to say it's so great to be a part of something like this. I was her cheerleader. So what we're talking about today are people that encourage others to do their gift. And just like Elizabeth, I took her to hundreds of lessons. I loved the lessons. I loved the recitals. I was educated myself. I learned so much about all the composers and about the violin and all the wonderful things. You know, it's a win-win. When you encourage others, you learn yourself along the road. Yes, you do. You certainly do. So, are you ready for a cup of tea? Okay, I'm gonna pull this back. I have a really special set today and I want you to see it if you can. I thought we'd go pink today with the first week in Easter. And I learned something. I knew that Easter starts with Easter and it goes for 40 days. But many people think it goes for 50 days. And we were at a wonderful Anglican church on Sunday, and the minister said, Easter goes for 50 days, and it ends with Pentecost Sunday in May. So we are, I love this. It's not a big rush. I can just sit back and enjoy it. Yes, take a little time. So I've got the Easter lily. It finally bloomed. Isn't that beautiful? It was just buds when I got it, and now it's full bloom. I love it. And I think I'll just put the paper stand over here for a while. Okay. And I'm going to show you this tea set because it is, okay, there we go. It's pink and red. It's Royal Albert. And it's Royal Albert pink. Isn't it beautiful? I love this set. Okay, it's so heavy. Oh my. I need a strong man to pick up this tea. This is why you had butlers in the olden days. They're strong and they could pick up the tray and carry it. And I kind of lost my scarf when I got up. So I'm going to reorient myself here a little bit, if you don't mind. I'm kind of sitting on this. This scarf is so big that it is just very long. And I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it has little silver drops on the pink. Okay, let's get together here. Let's make this work. There we go. Okay. Now, okay, let's pour out. And I have a matching cup that matches the pot. And actually, this is the china I used for Easter. I set my whole table with this pink Royal Albert. I've had this china for many years, and I have a whole set, which is unusual because most of the tea sets on this tea table are just teapot, creamer, and sugar. But this, I have the cups and the saucers. Oh, I've got my Kenyan tea today because on a rainy day, I like the Kenyan tea. That's the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. That's the piece that she did for her auditions for college. And I fell in love with Mendelssohn through this piece. He's such a beautiful composer. And this is the napkin we have. There it is. And you see, I added it's little red tulips, red and pink with the pink napkin. And that's what I had on the table. Isn't that nice? I don't mind mixing a few faux flowers with real, but I love the real whenever I can have them. Yes, I do. Of course I do. And for our little treat, we've had so much food for Easter. I thought just a few little chocolate cookies were nice. Isn't that nice? Well, you are all so special to me. Thank you so much for all your comments and encouragement for the Easter tea table. And it was fun wearing yellow. Now today I'm wearing pink. And that's an Easter color also, right? And spring. But I know yellow is really special. There's something about yellow. It's the color of the sun. Yes. And often the color of the moon when it's yellow. Not always yellow. Sometimes it's white. Sometimes it's silver. But I've seen a beautiful yellow moon also. Well, yes, I have a purse. I have some tea people that want to see my purse, and they like my purses. So this is a pink purse. Isn't that fun? It's amazing also how these colors go together. You know, you think you have to match pink. Pink almost goes with every other color. Red almost goes with every color. Green almost goes with every color. It's amazing you can put a pink purse with just about anything, and it's very nice. So we'll let that sit here. This scarf is bigger than my normal scarves, and I'm just kind of floating in it. It could almost be like a dress. It's so big. And I'm sitting on, I'm sorry, folks, I'm sitting on something I want to show you that my dear friend sent me for my birthday. And I thought I've got to show my Tea Talk people. I had never really seen anything quite like this. It's so interesting. It's very Victorian, and she got it from Victorian Traders, a wonderful magazine that catalog that doesn't exist. They closed. But it's these darling little cloths. I was sent this for my birthday. My friend said she didn't have a porch where she's living now, and she wanted me to have it to hang on my porch for summer, for a tea party. Isn't that adorable? It's like, I don't know, it's almost like little aprons, and it could hang right across the top and give a little decoration for a lovely tea party. I thought that was such a special gift. I'm just really treasuring this because, especially when something like Victorian Traders closes the magazine, then you're not going to get these things. They had the most unique. I just used to like to look through the magazine. I didn't even need to order. It was just so inspiring. And the lady who designed it would always have a cover, a picture of beautiful vintage Victorian art. And it was so beautiful. The covers were just, you could almost frame them. They were so lovely. And we need color. We need inspiration. We need goodness. We need grace. We need kindness. And I said to my friend Ruth, I said, well, you know, Ruth, you're the brilliant brains behind this paper. I'm just your friend. I'm your cheerleader. And I did submit an article. I have an article in this paper, but she did all the layouts, all the work. She did everything. And I said, wow, Ruth, I'm the cheerleader. I feel like my role in life is often cheerleader. And she said, well, you know, that is the role of every mother, is to be a cheerleader. And I had never quite thought of it that way. But you know what? That's true. We need to cheer our children on, and our nieces and nephews and our grandchildren, and all the other children in our lives or people in our lives. why not encourage people? Don't ever discourage. You know, the word dis is a negative, isn't it? Disappoint, discourage. We don't want to do that. We want to encourage. We want to appoint. Each one of us, whether we know it or not, have so much power to do good. And our world needs good. Look for the best. I had a pastor once. His name was Pastor Hammond when I was a college student in Seattle. And Pastor Hammond used to say, don't look for Adam in each other. Look for Christ. Look for the second Adam. Look for Christ. Look for the good. Don't look for the fallen. Look for the good. Isn't that beautiful? I always remembered that. And I thought, God help me. God help me to see people the way you see them. Because God loves us. He doesn't condemn us. He doesn't measure us by how we look on the outside. He looks at the heart. I'm just enjoying this music today so much. You know, most people, I find, have a tendency, particularly artists and creative people, to be hard on themselves. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I know if Elizabeth heard this, she would hear any little mistake because that's how we are. All we hear is the beauty, right? Yes. So let's enjoy what God lets us accomplish. Let's not miss out. You know, the man that recorded her was Carrie Gansberg in Olympia. Wonderful man. Not that old. And do you know, Carrie recently, sadly, unexpectedly passed away. Helen, she would be, oh my, she would be almost 100 now. And that's Robert Jorgensen accompanying her, fabulous accompanist. Helen's gone. So it was a moment in time to have these people. Don't miss your opportunity today. We don't have yesterday. We don't have tomorrow. We only have today. If you really want to do something, don't postpone. And don't listen to naysayers or negative people. Do what you want to do with a pure heart for the glory of God and the blessing of your fellow man and for the joy in your own heart. And you will never be sorry. Mendelssohn, no one like him. There's no one like you. There's no one. Each person has a unique gift. And I think genius is going for the gift. It's pushing for the gift. It's not giving up. It's not letting anybody knock you down. So beautiful. In the Bible, the main message that Jesus constantly gives is, I can sum it up in a sentence. The ground is level at the cross. In other words, God doesn't see a pauper, a king, a prince, a princess. He sees your heart. He loves you equally. He is the great equalizer. He loves all mankind with a perfect love. Take his love in your heart and let it heal you. And then do the thing that's in your heart. You'll be so happy. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. Wow. I'll tell you another secret of life, and this is something to remember. So often, oh no, so often, a person is right on the brink of achievement of the level they want. And it's hard, and they give up, and they stop. This is so common. They work so hard, and they say, well, I can't get there, so they stop. Oh boy, my recording. That is the recording going, well, it's in the other room and I can't get to it. Well, you know what? I just thank you all for joining me today. Oh my goodness, that is something is on the CD. Okay, well, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for your comments. Please make comments. I love your comments. Ask questions and tell me what you would like to cover on the tea table. I'm really open. I would absolutely love to cover any subject that you are interested in. Thank you so much. We'll play this next time and get it, the CD. Something must have gotten on it. So God bless. And I look forward to seeing you next time.